So I thought I'd show you some tricks with this new hazard layer that was published by FEMA. It's not necessarily new, but the portal's new. It does a few things, and it does one of the things it does that's real neat is over here. You can see it better if you scroll down. It creates a ferment wherever you select that to occur. And it looks like the way they intend you to do it is to put an address in there. I got one waiting here for us. So we'll do that. We'll put an address in there. And it goes to that location or close to it. I wanted this location here, actually. And then it says download and do some things, but this is what I'm interested in because it says, oh, add a marker. And then that lets you create this format. So I'm going to do that real quick. Oh, it doesn't like that. It wants you to do it this way. So that's kind of interesting. We're going to do it a different way anyway. So it seems to work a little bit better than this anyway. So once this is executed, the result is a PDF map, and it actually looks really good. Let's check this thing out. And what's nice is it's an official map. It puts a lot of information on it. It's got a real good legend here. So, but let's look into that. One of the things I want to do is to use the URL right here, for my purposes. So the way we do that is I'm going to look at ArcGIS URL Parameters. And I'll put a link to this down in the bottom of this video. But it can do, they pass a lot of different information along on the command line. But one of the things that I want to do specifically in this case, because I've tried it out already. Oh, I must have missed it. It's a command called find. Find. I don't see it. Of course, I did earlier. Oh, here it is. It's called find. So this is all it. Here it is. It's just find equals. And they use a question mark, but I couldn't get the question mark to work. So we're going to use right up here. I'm going to go and put an ampersand in there. Oh, that's not even one. Ampersand. You can see some of the ones I've been querying. Find equals. And in this case, I'm just going to select these coordinates here. And look what this does. It's really pretty cool because it goes right to that location and it's already set up. You just tell it to set as input a print flood map and then go over here, execute your PDF. And wait. Come on, there we go. Did it. And you got this nice map. And, based on your location that you wanted to do. And using the URL like this to get it. So I think that's pretty cool. So what I want to do is to do that in QGIS. To use that function on a whole bunch of different points. Just points that I'm interested in. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now, because the main focus of this series is to learn how to use GIS as a floodplain manager. That's what it's about. I'm using the BFE process, but all of these processes together really help support floodplain management. So that's the intention. Everything's slow. I've even done some things to speed this up, and one of the things is that it doesn't show, the initial history and things like that. So here's the file I've set up for this, and it has some basic features in it. And these actually come from a REST service too, and I'll show how we connect to them in the near future. But this is pretty much a standard layer. One of the things I want to do first of all is to look at the snapping options. I'm going to turn these off because I don't really want to snap to anything. And then I want to create a new scratch layer. Now ArcMap doesn't have this. You have to go through some more deliberate things, but here it's really quick and easy. I'm going to say I want to do points. And also one of the differences, you know, how it handles the projection. So it looks to me like on QGIS, the projections are, you know, can be unique to the layer and also unique to the project. So in this case, I want these points to print off decimal degrees at a national level. And so I want it to match basically Google in its functionality, or Google Earth. So we're going to select WGS 84 and hit OK. So now I got a new layer ready to edit, and I'm going to start putting points in there. So I'm going to put points along here. You know, this, who knows what these points are, but they're easy to put in. And then what I want to do is find out the X and Y values to those points. So I'm going to create and go to the table, the attribute table, and I'm going to put in new fields in here. So I'm going to put in the X, and I'm going to put in the Y. And then I want to fill those in. So look how cool this is. I'm going to say, pick on this calculator. I want to update an existing field, the X field, and I want to put the geometry in there. So I'll go down to geometry and go to the X value that's held within the computer, which is $X, and hit OK. And look what that does. Man, it fills all those in like immediately. So I'm going to do it again, except this time for the Y value. Geometry, scroll down to the Y, pop those babies in there. Now that's pretty cool. So that's what we're going to send to the FEMA server there, FEMA's web portal. We're going to send those coordinates to it, so it'll pop those things up in our locations that we want. We can print formats for every one of them. So now I'm going to add another field. I'm just going to call it URL. And I'm going to make it a text string, 255 characters, because that's just a good standard. So now I'm going to fill this in. So one of the things you notice back here on this example is it uses the Y value first. And you know, the program, GIS programs, I noticed that Google uses the Y value first in a lot of its expectations of location. ArcGIS uses the Y. So you just have to figure that out initially. So we want to use the Y value. If we go back, oh, I'm sorry, it's the X value. So everything I said was kind of backwards. And I even forget which one these are, whether the latitude or longitude. So you just have to figure it out. And I do have to figure it out every time. But so the URL is going to be this base. And we're just going to go ahead and include this. Copy it. Go back here and go to the field calculator and say to update this URL field. And I'm going to put that piece of text in there. Find equals. Close it. And then to put other values in there, you click this little concatenator option. So now I can put in, what did we say was first? The X. But this time, instead of getting it calculated, I'm going to go to the field values. So here's the X field. Then I'm going to concatenate it again. I'm going to put a comment in there just to be on the safe side. Put in some more a pin symbol. They call it string concatenation symbol. And then this time we're going to put in the Y value. Then I'm going to hit OK. So it calculated that for all my points. I mean, it just created that URL that's custom for each record. So what are we going to do with that? So look how cool this is. So I'm going to close that window and okay. So now to use this information, to extract information from the portal, all we have to do is click on the I button, information button, select one of those points where we calculated that field, and here's the field. So you go there, select it all, copy. And you know, we're starting at this first point down this way. We go back to the web browser. I want to open up a new window, paste that point in there, and hit enter. And it goes to my point. It goes to the point that I just calculated from inside of QGIS. And now I set this as input, and I can execute and print these PDFs all day long. So there's just so much functionality. Here we've got a desktop application interfacing with and integrating into a web portal. And to me, that's just a phenomenal thing to do and way to utilize tools. And the neat thing is it's cross-platform, and the thing that links these things together in this case is location. And that happens a lot. Location can pull together a lot of information that you're working on. The other thing this could do is, since we're working on this and we're expecting that these are somehow points of interest as you know, for our work as floodplain manager, we can take that layer, save it as, and inside QGIS you can immediately save things right here, right from the command line, almost right from the command window, I should say. So here I'm going to save it as KML. I'm going to save it to my desktop and save it. So let's say we have, and you know, we're working with other people, we're emailing information back and forth. So now we can send this as an email. It has our points in it, and somebody can look at the relationship to these points very quickly with this other geospatial tool, which is Google Earth. Google Earth is now open. There's no license needed to use them. Let's see what information it put on there. Oh, look at that. You can link to that same thing inside of the KML file. There's no name on there, but man, it probably wouldn't take long to fix that. We'd have to put names in there. Name, you know, I think it automatically uses, if I put a field in there named name, I think it would automatically populate it when I saved this KML file. But we'll have to test that out later. Seems like it's taking a while inside of, here we go, opening Google Chrome. I thought there was a setting for that. But man, see how functional that is. That's just, oh man, that just excites me. All this functionality. You know, there might be some tension or some talk that goes on between QGIS and ArcMap. And I use both these tools. And it's really about having the right tool at the right time. You know, and I'm pretty excited about learning QGIS, especially learning about a lot of its functionality and speed in this case, because that was very quick, and you could put together a lot of nice reports using this feature. So that's all I have for now. Have a good day.